Okay, well, you thought the ablative was done, and so did I, but you know, the ablative just has so much stuff going on with it that I'm going to add a little additional ablative thing here, and I might add more as I think of more stuff. But one thing I forgot to mention on the ablative that I think is really helpful, we talked earlier about how with the genitive it can be really helpful to add in those English prepositions of, or the apostrophe s thing, or at the dative to add to and for. And those are just good, you know, general rules that help make those cases make sense in English. Well, the ablative, you notice a lot of times it appears with prepositions like in, or with cum, or with ab, with day, and with ax, which all basically mean from, right? And those all go with the ablative. But there's these certain ones that have no preposition, like gladio. You don't use a preposition in Latin. So, but in English, you do usually put a preposition in. You say, Caecilius fights sword? No. Okay, you say, Caecilius fights with a sword, okay, or by means of a sword. So, when you see the ablative without a preposition, it's really helpful a lot of times to either put one of these prepositions, by, with, or from. And you know, in this case I'm saying with a sword, but I just say use by and from also, because sometimes, especially, you know, some authors, they like to use the ablative very, you know, elegantly and kind of poetically almost, or just, this is normal in Latin to do this. And sometimes they can just leave off the regular prepositions, especially in poetry, and you just gotta put in the sense of it in, you know, in your mind, that you're leaving from a place or something like that. So from, you know, has any of these prepositions, but you can also use the ablative without a preposition, and you just put from with it, okay? That's pretty common to do that kind of thing. So just if you keep in the back of your mind, if I see an ablative, I'm trying different things in English to make a translation work, I could put in the words by, with, or from in English, because all those ideas are contained in that ablative ending there. Okay? Just like with tres horas, I put 4 or 3 hours, you know, over here. 4 or 3 hours, same idea. Caecilius fights with a sword. Okay? Now, sometimes it doesn't always make sense. Like you say, harpasto ludit, he plays with a football. Harpasto ludit. Well, that's true, but in English you could just say he plays football, right? And we don't say he plays with a football, but that's the sense in Latin, is that he plays with a football. Another one is sexta hora. You could put a preposition with that. At what time does Caecilius eat dinner? Quando, quo tempore, Caecilius cenam comedit, sexta hora comedit. Okay, at the 6th hour. You know, at or on the 6th hour, that's something you could add to. It sounds a little funny to say he eats dinner 6th hour, you know, in English. It sounds better to say at the 6th hour or on the 6th hour. So you gotta just be a little flexible with the ablative. Sometimes they're not always going to put a preposition, because the ablative just is basically doing a description job. That's just what the ablative does. And in particular describing an action or a verb. Where, how, when, with whom, from where, and so forth. That's what it's describing.